On 15th of June 2022, Rick Duke, Senior Director and White House Liaison for the Special Presidential Envoy for Climate John Kerry, and co-chairman of the Climate and Clean Air Coalition, gave a video keynote address at the World Biogas Summit 2022, organized by the World Biogas Association. The CCAC said in its Global Methane Assessment Report that mitigating methane emissions is the most immediate and cost-efficient way to deliver on the Paris Agreement. It has identified anaerobic digestion and biogas among the principal low-cost technologies that can deliver this. Here is what Rick Duke said at the summit.
Good morning. My name is Rick Duke. I'm Deputy to John Kerry, the Special Presidential Envoy for Climate for the United States government. I'm thrilled to be speaking to this group gathered for the 2022 World Biogas Summit. Thanks to the World Biogas Association for the kind invitation. Let me start with some context on the topic of methane more broadly. It's really promising to see that the World Biogas Association has focused on the methane reduction imperative for this biogas summit this year. Methane action is absolutely critical if we are to have a hope of retaining a safer 1.5 degree centigrade climate future, and thereby preventing the most dangerous and disastrous impacts of climate change. In fact, if you look at the methane that's in the atmosphere already, it's causing 0.5 degree centigrade of today's 1.1 degrees centigrade of warming, from which we're already suffering significant and growing impacts. And there's no faster way to pump the brakes on dangerous climate change than to reduce methane emissions quickly. And that's why President Biden and President von der Leyen of the European Commission launched the Global Methane Pledge at COP26 in Glasgow last fall, with the goal of reducing global methane emissions by at least 30% by 2030. As of now, we have more than 115 countries participating in the Global Methane Pledge, working together towards that common aim. And they represent together about half of global methane emissions and about 70% of the global economy. In addition, we've seen key support emerge, over $340 million in the form of the Global Methane Hub from philanthropies that have stepped up to provide grant support for countries to act on methane. Also, the United States and the European Union and other governments have announced new and substantial commitments to groups like the Climate and Clean Air Coalition and the International Methane Emissions Observatory to support countries in implementing the Global Methane Pledge. So it's an exciting time for action on methane, and it's overdue. So let's talk about how biogas fits in. As many of you know, biogas can be made from any organic material through anaerobic digestion. Major sources include manure, sewage, food loss and waste, crop residues, and others. And the benefits of biogas for economic development and livelihoods are numerous for both local health and to increase access to cooking fuels. Let me just say a bit about 3 of the climate and environmental benefits as well. First, manure and organic material in agriculture contribute about 3% of global methane emissions, while solid waste and wastewater contribute 10% each. While anaerobic digestion isn't economic in every case, it is a very promising solution to reduce a significant percentage of these methane emissions, as well as the nitrous oxide and CO2 emissions that also come from these organic wastes. Second, if all organic waste were converted into biogas and used to generate electricity, it could meet about 1/5 of global electricity consumption. And if this energy is utilized as biomethane, it can substitute for more than 1/4 of current natural gas consumption. These are, of course, aspirational figures, but it's important to understand that even capturing 10% of this potential would support energy and climate security goals importantly. Third, and finally, fertilizer production can offset some nitrogen fertilizer application and N2O emissions. Use of digestate as soil amendment can replace about 6% of inorganic fertilizer currently in use. And especially in a time where Russia's invasion of Ukraine has led to serious fertilizer shortages and food scarcity worldwide, this benefit is particularly timely and important right now. Now, based on current estimates, the world is only tapping into about 2% of the total potential for anaerobic digestion, which is another way of saying there's lots of room for growth. And there are promising signs. Installed capacity of these technologies has doubled in the past decade and continues to rise at an impressive rate. So as the world begins to better understand the near-term opportunities from methane emissions reductions, it's my hope that biogas continues to grow in prominence as a valuable near-term solution to methane emission reductions and to deliver all of these important co-benefits. Thanks again for the chance to speak with you, and I hope that you all have a very productive conference. Take care.